All right, today we are untangling the code of Alex Garland's incredibly ambitious TV series, Devs. And look, this isn't just your standard tech thriller. No, this show is a deep dive into some of the biggest, most mind-bending questions about our very existence. So let's get right into it. Right from the very start, Devs just throws this massive question right at you. It's really the philosophical engine that drives the whole story. I mean, think about it. Are you actually in control of your choices? Or is that just a feeling, maybe an illusion?
So, Garland's grand question. The man asking it is, of course, the creator Alex Garland. And if you've seen his other work, stuff like Ex Machina or Annihilation, then you know this guy does not shy away from really complex, heady science fiction. But what's so cool about Devs is that he had complete creative control. We're talking writing and directing all 8 episodes. And that just gave him this huge canvas to really go wild and explore these insane ideas.
Okay, so the story starts with a pretty familiar hook, right? We're following a software engineer named Lily Chan. She works at this super cutting-edge quantum computing company called Amaya. Well, her boyfriend dies under really mysterious circumstances after his very first day in a top-secret division. Naturally, she starts to think something's not right, and she launches her own investigation that, well, it spirals into a conspiracy that is way, way bigger than anything she could have ever imagined. Inside the Deus machine, a quantum computer that sees all. Yeah, that whole conspiracy we just mentioned, it all centers on this, the Deus machine. We're talking about a quantum computer so powerful, it can literally simulate reality. It can recreate the past and even project the future. And the whole thing is built on one single, core, and frankly staggering philosophical concept. And that concept, it's called determinism. Basically, it's the theory that everything that happens is just the result of something that happened before it. Every action is just a reaction in a long chain of events. So if you could somehow account for every single variable in the entire universe, you could predict every single event with perfect accuracy. And what that means, according to this theory, is that free will, it just doesn't exist.
Now, here's a really cool little detail. The name of that secret division. So the employees and us, the audience, we all just assume devs is short for development, right? Makes sense. But it's not. It's actually short for Deus, which is the Latin word for God. And that one little word, it just reveals the true scale of this project and the incredible, almost godlike ambition of its creator, a guy named Forrest.
Okay, Section 3, Silicon Valley's God Complex. This is a critique of modern tech culture. And this brings us right to Garland's real-world target, the whole culture of Silicon Valley. He uses the show to really dig into this deep-seated fear he has about the unchecked power and, well, the godlike attitudes he sees in the modern tech world. So, yeah, this isn't just a story, it's a warning. And Garland himself puts it perfectly. He explains that we tend to treat these big tech entrepreneurs as if they have these, messiah-type qualities. It's like we look to their new products, their new phones, their latest apps, as if they hold some kind of secret to a happier, better life. And this quote just brilliantly drives home his whole critique. He compares the culture to the blatant, unapologetic greed of 1980s Wall Street. But he argues, today that same voracious capitalism is just hidden. It's hiding behind a friendlier, more virtuous facade of, hipster t-shirts and cool office cafes. All right, Section 4, a universe of sound. We're talking about the art of atmosphere. Because, Devs isn't just about these giant ideas. It is a full-on sensory experience. The show's atmosphere is every bit as important as its plot, and a huge part of that comes from its incredibly unique and deliberate use of sound and music. I mean, the sound of Devs really does transcend time and genre. The score, which is mostly by Jeff Barrow and Ben Salisbury, creates this soundscape that feels both ancient and totally futuristic at the same time. It's unsettling, it's beautiful, and it's layered with this amazing, curated soundtrack that pulls from just about every corner of music history. And when I say eclectic, I mean it. Just look at this range. You've got 10th century chant with a saxophone, minimalist classical from Steve Reich, 60s folk rock from Crosby, Stills and Nash, and then modern artists like Billie Eilish and Low. I mean, seriously, how many shows do you know that would use a Gregorian chant with a soaring saxophone in one scene, and then switch to the gentle folk of Crosby, Stills and Nash in another?
It's this wild mix that gives the whole show this timeless, almost sacred feeling.
But what's just as powerful as all that sound is the silence. And Garland is a master at this. He strategically uses these quiet moments to build almost unbearable tension, or sometimes just to give us, the viewers, a second to breathe and process the enormous ideas being thrown at us. And, of course, it makes the moment the music comes back in that much more powerful.
Number 5, the illusion of choice. Can you break the code of fate? Because this is where everything comes to a head right in the show's finale. All the tech, all the philosophy, the human drama. It all just collides as the show finally confronts its central question head-on. Is our path totally fixed, or can a single choice actually change everything? So here's the crucial moment. The Deus machine, this computer that has perfectly predicted everything up to this point, suddenly just hits a wall of static. It goes blind. It can't see past a very specific point in time. And why? Because our protagonist, Lily, is about to do something the machine says is impossible. She's about to make a choice that defies her predetermined fate.
And that one moment reveals this huge conflict between two competing theories of the universe. On one hand, you've got determinism. That's what Forrest, the creator, built his machine on. The belief in one single, fixed path, an unchangeable timeline. But on the other hand, the machine's failure suggests the many worlds theory, the idea that every choice creates a brand new branching universe, that there are infinite possible futures out there.
And ultimately, I think this quote from The Observer really nails what makes devs so special. It stands out from the crowd because it's more than just a piece of entertainment. It's a story that comes from a genuine, deep fear of where our technology is taking us and what its incredible power might end up revealing about our own lives. And so, the show leaves us, and leaves you, with this final, really provocative thought to chew on. If it turns out our lives are predetermined, that we're all just riding on rails and every action is set in stone, does the feeling of being in control still matter? Does that rich human experience of making a choice still have meaning? In the end, does the illusion of choice matter at all?